Hi everyone, welcome to this very special segment that I have Linda Morrison joining me, which is very, very exciting, and I'm personally grateful to have Linda joining me. Linda, thank you so much for your time. I am very grateful and appreciate you coming on to do this segment. For those of you joining us and are going to be learning about what Linda's been doing over the last 20 years in terms of really supporting women around leading them through transformational coaching and really understanding so many different facets. She has seen some incredible changes across business and transformational work. She's a #1 best-selling author and international speaker and has done amazing work. Linda, I can keep talking about how amazing you are, but I do want to get into really hearing about, this amazing coaching career that you've had for 20 plus years. Tell me a little bit about that.
Thank you, Samantha, for having me and that great introduction. That was awesome. I can't believe I'm this age. Like, I've got a birthday this week, so I'm sort of going, oh, really? Have I been doing this for this long? I started way back, always teaching people movement as it started. So it was teaching swimming when I was a young girl. So 13, 14, was teaching aerobics at 17, 18, and then it moved on to personal training. So I was teaching a lot of fitness and health. And we only ever obviously got paid to get results. Can the kids swim? Can the person transform their bodies? Yep. So we only ever got paid for results. And fast forward, so I put myself through university as a trainer, a personal trainer, a fitness trainer, corporate fitness trainer. It was massive at that time, so probably 30 years ago. And then I was a sociology student. So I was really obsessed about psychology, sociology, behavior change. And what I love about sociology is that where the theory meets what's actually happening in society at that time. And this time, as we fast forward and think about right now, it's really an interesting thing. So it was always health and fitness because I really liked the tactile way in which we were able to get results, so performance coaching, those sorts of things. So I had a chiropractic office and a wellness office. And then I took my businesses online about 10 years ago. Yep. For women's body transformations for women over 40. I was turning 40 that year. And I thought, no one's really looking after these women who do everything. They've got spinning plates, they look after the health of the family and the kids, and they raise the kids, and they're looking after relationships and extended family, and they're producing new careers for themselves and moving forward. And they're women are quite modern, so they move with the times. So I was looking after her in her body transformation because I found that she looked after everyone else really well, but not herself, because there was no time left. Yep. So we got lots of great weight loss, body transformations, and therefore lots of transformations in confidence and health and those sorts of things. Health, energy, uplift. When a woman rises, everyone rises. So that whole thing. Yeah. And then about 5 years ago, I moved into the space of, because I've had all these successful offline and online businesses around well-being, I just moved into business coaching because it was no different. It was performance-based. So I literally had to show that the person was getting great results as we moved forward. So it was really appealing to me. Yep. The other side of it was I watched people try to business coach wellness coaches, and there's a different language in it. So it's different development, different language, and also as the online world meets the offline service giving, yep, worlds collide. So I was able to help people with that, if that makes sense.
Absolutely amazing. And as you're telling me this, Linda, what's coming to my mind is you mentioned, you transitioned into the online world, which is perfect fitting given where we are right here, right now. You were ahead of your time. You've gone, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this
I was.
online.
Yeah, I couldn't even use a computer. Samantha, thank you for saying. I couldn't even use a computer. I wasn't even emailing people or doing my banking online. I was useless online.
Wow. And here you are.
Yeah. I was crazy. When people say you're crazy because you don't even like technology, but I still don't. In all honesty, I don't have to like it. It just needs to work for me as I need it to function for me. That's it. We've made peace.
We've made peace. And that's all it is, isn't it? You got to know your strengths and weaknesses and make peace with it and kind of run with it. So amazing.
100%. Yeah. My biggest thing was I was really good with things physically. So I could pick up a golf club and do okay. I could play tennis with people and never train. Like I was physically okay. So I went, well, the computer, and at that time I was given a MacBook Pro. It was a physical thing. So I said, if A equals B equals C, then I can make D happen. Like, surely I can do this. So if I can make golf happen, I can make this happen. Like, I can make it happen. Yeah. So I got my head in that game. But the major motivation was I was helping people. So I went from one-to-one, offline, to one-to-many straight away and globally. And I was very strong on the fact that I loathe that women feel less than, that they feel tired, strung out, stressed out, and less than anybody else. They are awesome. They are running a lot of things. They are often tired. They often don't know what to do, but actually they're extremely resourceful. And so my whole story behind it really was, enough already. I'm going to make this work, and then I'm going to lead thousands of others to make that happen. First in body, but then in business as well. And obviously, both are extremely important: to be healthy, well, vibrant, terrific, to be confident, and then to really enjoy your legacy or to enjoy your businesses or whatever else you got going on, over and above the family, which is obviously extremely important. And anyone that knows me knows that my children are extremely important to me. But I think, what do you do next? Or what do you do after that? Or what do you do when they're in bed? Or what do you do else? Yeah. That's actually going to bring the world to you and you to the world, your special gifts.
Yeah, amazing. And that kind of, as you're saying, what do you bring to the world, your special gifts? That kind of leads me on to, talking a little bit about, we recently celebrated International Women's Day. And you have been working tirelessly, or maybe not so much, maybe that wording isn't appropriate, but you have done an amazing project in order to help these women rise above, shine, and thrive in different capacities of what they're doing. Can you talk a little bit about the amazing project that you did, which launched in line with International Women's Day, Linda?
Yeah, I love that you've asked about that. I think that there's a few folds to International Women's Day. One, I have a daughter who's turning 20 this year. I can literally see her working out in my backyard at the moment. It's touch or go whether she's going to be a medical student in France this year as part of our Melbourne University extension because of what's going on at the moment. She's an international girl. She speaks French. She spent a year in Belgium when she was 15. She's already an international girl. I feel like an international woman because I get to actually help international women every single day in my businesses, and because I have an online business just like that. So I took, my services, my intellectual property, took it online, and suddenly I had an international business. So I became that international woman. My daughter is one. The other thing is that I think that what we want for ourselves and our daughters is actually what we want for everybody. So the reason that, I've got a sociology degree in women's studies. I didn't really understand it when I was getting that degree when I was 18, 19. I was like, this is interesting. But actually, powerful women who lead families and lead businesses are actually going to do extremely well. So if wealth or power and or choices are with women, I think that they're going to choose really great things. I don't know, maybe, let's see what happens as it happens.
Yes.
But that's kind of a little bit of the story behind it all.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that I speak differently to women that are attracted to the way that I speak and the way that I articulate things for them. You're different, Samantha. My daughter's different again, different, step down a generation. And then everyone in this book and this project, The Empowered Woman's Way, speaks differently again to their tribes. So as long as we're actually telling these great stories, we're actually connecting and giving language to things that perhaps other women can't quite articulate, pull together.
Yeah.
And I get this every day when I teach, because I think I'm a teacher at the end of the day. So I say, what questions do you have for me? And then you get crickets. There's no questions. Right? It's like when I, go to the accountant, they go, do you have any questions? Like, you tell me what my questions are or might be, and I'll formulate one and I'll give a question back to you.
Yeah.
It's the same with all of us. If we haven't navigated the situation, we don't know what to ask. So it takes other women to be able to help us. Mm-hmm. And I've always had that in my life. My mother and my grandmother and even my daughter has been able to help me to articulate what it is I need. So that's, in a nutshell, and maybe that was a long answer to a great question, that's what I want to do for women. I want them to feel like they've got space and a voice, and that they can actually, if they can't pull the words together themselves, then there's someone who can.
Yeah.
Or at least get closer to what they want to say, and that's going to help them. Yeah.
I love that. Amazing. So that kind of, as you're telling me that, I'm going, there's so much passion, there's so much purpose, embedded to all that you do, and the reason why you show up, globally to support these women through various offerings that you do. And the book project was only just one of them, in order to, connect and help them to obviously build a platform beyond that to serve the wider community, which then gets me thinking, was there a big aha or a defining moment for you that kind of got you started on this, or were you always somewhat refining this, from 15, 20 years ago? Were you always tweaking, was there something that kind of the penny dropped and you went, that's the starting point? I'm just trying to get to know the backstory, I suppose, Linda.
Yeah, I know, it's a great question. I have an idea. Well, where people say, oh, are you an introvert and an extrovert? Most people think I'm an extrovert. I'm absolutely not. I'm pretty darn quiet socially.
Okay.
Not really minding this quiet time that we've got at the moment. So I'm pretty darn quiet socially.
Yeah.
But there is, I seem to have this ability to be able to pull together what is seemingly complex into a simple way, to be able to help people to focus, to do something now.
Yeah.
And that's always been a driving thing in me. And I don't know where that comes from. So I truly don't know where that comes from. But what I can be thankful for, that I actually recognize, is that my mother and my grandmother and even my paternal grandmother, aunts, good women, like in an extended family, have actually talked about the women's stories in our experiences. So not always in our families, but in families that we knew of, etc. Not to talk about it from the point of view of of gossip, but to go, that's really not cool, right? That, that tone on that, where that happens, not good. And sometimes I think that some of our children are getting too much of the wrong stories and not a lot of the good stories. Okay. So they're getting too much information, not enough depth. The depth really comes from the story. When you talk about writing books or writing the legacy of what we've come from and all those sorts of things is actually really quite simple. Is that there's huge strength in simplicity, and a lot of it's lost now. Yeah. So I think the ahas really come from the fact I've done lots and lots of years of coaching, paid for lots of different coaching, but actually the good stuff comes from my grandmother. Yeah. You know, the really good stuff actually comes from my grandmother, where she used to say things like, don't be good at everything, which basically meant let people in to help you. Yeah. You can't always be the one. Mm-hmm. You'll be exhausted. Yeah. And I really, yeah. So that's a really good lesson for women with women, because women do stick together. Yeah. And good women stick together. So I think that's really good. There's also terrific men, and terrific men have raised me as well. Yeah. And I'm super lucky with that. But I believe that they get to be more terrific if there's a terrific woman with them. Yeah. And that's what I see as I get older. So I think that the aha moments really are that my children are both pulling into adulthood. My boy's nearly 18, so they're really great leaders, both at the top of their sporting prowess and schooling and stuff like that. And I see that, and I sort of think, it wasn't really what I said, it was what I did. So every day I got up and I worked out and I drank my water and I ate my vegetables, and I used to go, you better eat your vegetables. And they'd go, I don't want to. And I'm like, well, that's up to you. You might never reach that next height, whatever, and not kind of, you got to, like, if I'm a victim, I'm not a victim. No. I'm good. I've given you the vegetables, you eat them. Yeah. You eat them. Mm-hmm. So, you ate them when you were 2, why aren't you eating them when you're 8? That sort of business. So you sort of go, this is the line, hold the line, hold the line. And a lot of that does not come from, it comes from what you truly know, those universal truths. So if I can say that to women, it's that you're really more powerful than you realize. Mm-hmm. And you've got a whole lot more than you actually realize. Just zip it a bit and say what you need to say, and then go real quiet. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Say what you have to say and then zip it. It's pretty simple, really. Not a lot there that you can go wrong with. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. Which then leads me on to Linda. As I was reading your bio, you have done some incredible work. You've been featured across so many different publications, globally, from Fox News to ABC to CBS and the Los Angeles Times. You've spoken about this probably many times, and maybe sometimes you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm always on repeat. But I'm kind of trying to get a little bit of, I suppose, an inside scoop a little bit on, when you talk to these women, you talk about the importance of exercise, leading into, this book project and the women that shared their story, and then launching in line with International Women's Day, something that you're very passionate about. And, you're somebody who really represents that really well through your social media, but also across as an individual person that people connect and build relationships with. You really highlight and are living proof of that, good exercise and good eating habits. Can you share a little bit about what your take on, I know, you deliver different programs and training and all of that, but, what is the, I suppose, the essence of you talking about exercise for women and the importance of really adapting that as a part of everyday life rather than a job that they have to do or a task that they have to do?
Yeah. So, thanks for saying that. So, you'd have to be living under a rock not to know you need to move your body, drink your water, eat your vegetables, have some protein, try to, hang out with happy people, because if you want to be happy, all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. So that has always been the way that we've actually operated. the body is designed for a good amount of physical activity every day. Unfortunately, in our Western world, we don't get it.
Yep.
So we're sitting a lot, we're at desks a lot, we are idle, we're on our phones. There's all this posture now going on, like, you know, looking down, all that business. So, I'm really strong on using the body as a metaphor for what you want to do in life. So if you feel strong, if you feel like you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
And if you feel good, you want to look good, and it goes around and around and around and around and around.
Yeah.
I've never really met a woman, and I've transformed thousands of bodies since the time I was, you know, less than 18, like over these years, 30 years. I've never met a woman that doesn't want to feel beautiful. So what does that mean? You know, and what does that mean as we get older? Like, obviously I'm nearly 48. I'm not going to look like I'm 20.
Yeah.
But I want to feel beautiful. So when I look in the mirror, is my skin bright? Are my eyes bright? Is my hair shiny? Is my body in strong, healthy shape? And I'm not talking about being a bikini model. If you don't want to be, if you want to be, awesome. But if you don't want to be, then what does it mean to feel strong in your body, strong and well? No one wants to be the old lady kind of walking down the street that's stooped over and hasn't any posture.
Yeah.
And, you know, and to feel nice in her little dress or whatever she's wearing. Like, it's important over the decades to actually be what you need to be. What we're realizing is that there's no, you need to be fortified for the future. We don't know what the future is. Yeah. So are you strong? Are you strong in your confidence? Are you strong in your skill set? Are you strong in your body? Are you strong in your constitution, in the way that you operate, your immunity? As happens, the favorite word at the moment. But are you strong in all of those ways? And if, in all honesty, the lady says, actually, I could be better, then I say, well, let's raise our standards. Let's be better than yesterday. Yeah. And that's what we do in Ageless Body. The way I conduct myself, I do strength training most days. I do cardio training most days. It's not long. Yeah. I don't do long. I do intense, and it could be 30 or 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, but generally that's what I stick at. And then I'll go for a walk, or I'll try to walk with someone to talk with them as well, because that's a nice thing to do for well-being, and because it's good to move your legs. It's also good to get off the chair and the computer like every hour. If you're not getting to exercise, then just take a lap around the block. I think that's important as well. What I eat is good quality, healthy, rustic, normal family food. tends to be vegetables, salads, and protein. That's what I tend to eat. That's what I tend to eat. So it's, if you broke it down, it's fresh food, and it's lots of vegetables, a little bit of fruit. But if you've got a high energy output, if you're running all the time, if your kids are little, they can have more fruit than we can, us ladies, all that sort of thing. Try not to eat processed foods. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's great insights, because I think depending on where people are at right here and now, I mean, we are going through an interesting time, but I keep saying, and this is probably this is more what I've noticed is, with all the people, you know, buying so much and stacking so much meat and stuff, I'm going, how much frozen stuff are you going to eat? And are you going to end up with other health complications? Because to me, I've just been going every week and getting my veg and a little bit of fish and chicken kind of thing. So I'm like, I don't see how this is on a long term, from a health perspective, how this is going to really, you know, I feel like people are not really
100%. It was one of my posts the other day. It's well-known studies over decades that shows the more you put in your pantries, the more you eat.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is that whenever I've renovated 2 kitchens over 10 years, both kitchens don't really have a pantry. They've got quite a small area where we might put some muesli bars for the kids' lunch boxes, or maybe some tinned tomatoes, olive oil, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not stocking stuff that actually is carb loaded and or has a long shelf life. Anything that has a long shelf life generally is not good quality nutrition. Generally.
Yeah.
Right? It's not new news, but what are people stockpiling? I also have a small fridge, so my freezer's not that big.
Yeah.
In the past, I might have made bolognese and stuff like that, but it's not our lifestyle now. The kids are in and out. It's not our lifestyle. We've got to work with the lifestyle. I think that the thing is that we've all been told that, the chooks don't know that they should stop laying or stop growing, or they're, the fresh fruit and veg doesn't know that it needs to stop. It doesn't. It's going to keep coming. It's all there. I don't think there's anything to worry about on that level. And also, we need to support look, I'm a sociology geek. So any city that's starved, if you think about wars, if you think about Paris, what happens in Paris? Paris, you've got the city centre, then you've got the fantastic fresh produce, then you've got the industry around that. Any city that's starved in the world does the same thing. In Australia, we've not starved. So it tends to have the city centre where everyone wants to live by the water or whatever. Then you've got the industry. Then the produce gets pushed out. It should be the other way around. The produce should be really close to the people. That's how it should be. So we need to start thinking about things like this. And that's why people are going, maybe I just need to, plant some lettuce. Awesome. Plant it. Terrific. I fantasize about those days, and I'll get onto that sort of thing. My dad is from Mildura, and he's got 25 fruit trees in his backyard. He's awesome, but he's only awesome for 2 months of the year. When it all harvests, right? And we have to freeze it, which is what we do. So we stew it, we freeze it, and then we've got it to have with yogurt and things like that. It's awesome. It's terrific. But actually, we could all do with doing a bit of that stuff. Like when you're out there in the garden, do a few squats and burpees while you're gardening.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
I love that.
It's not a bad thing. Where we're heading is not a bad, it's not all bad. It's just different.
It is different. And as I was saying to my kids, because today's the last day here in Melbourne for children going to school in Melbourne. Obviously today's the last day of school before they break for the holidays. And I said to my children, it really depends on how you look at this. I'm going to look back on this particular season and time and going, there was a lot of stuff going on, but I got to create and have a lot more memories with you. I got to do a lot more crafting. I got to do backyard picnics way more than I would have normally done, because I'd be flying somewhere, running a workshop somewhere, doing stuff. So I go, it's pulled back on certain elements, but it has given me so much more in abundance as a result of it. It all comes down to perspective and what you make of it. As you said, Linda, you can be out in the garden doing some burpees and doing some things. It's a choice as women, as individuals. How are we showing up and what are we doing with it, isn't it?
Yes, 100%. And beautiful leadership, and we are leading. So it's not so much what we say, it's what we're doing, who we're being as all that's happening. And this is what I find really fascinating about this time, is that there is massive opportunity, and you get more of what you are. So if you're already feeling sick, depressed, down, maybe fearful, maybe you're going to get more of that. Or you've got a choice to actually pull into someone like us, Samantha, myself, other great coaches who are just going, actually, there's a new way of being But this is not so new. I did consider homeschooling a long, long time ago. My boy's in year 12. He's going to be home with me more. My mum used to say, I loved school holidays because you're home with me more. So, like, why aren't we saying that? I love this time you're home with me more.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's very, like, there's so many more screens and things that the kids can do now that they're not really going to be in your face. So if you are working from home, you know, the kids are good. Like, they really are good. All we had is TV.
Yeah,
those days.
absolutely. And I think it's what you make of it, as you were saying, you know. I said to the kids, the highlight would be is I don't need to keep an alarm. Like, you know, you could take them all as it comes.
But the alarm is, get out of the kitchen, no more. The food's off. Kitchen's closed. I used to have to do that in summer. Kitchen's closed, get out. You know, I'm over it. No more food.
No, that's it. Because sometimes, yeah, I mean, I'm blessed that my daughter now, she's 10 and a half. So sometimes when she's hungry after dinner, I'm like, well, you'll have to go make yourself something because I'm done. Like Samantha's kitchen,
you're a big girl.
Cooking episode.
Yeah.
Close for the day.
Oh, 100%. You're a big girl now. No problem. I think I was making banana bread at that time. My mum didn't like cooking, so I was always cooking.
Yeah.
And so, but it's a little bit like, yeah, that's cool, sweetie pie, but, you know, clean up where you can. Like, that'd be really good. Like, that's really good. Yeah. Just put it away and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I know when my son was little, I think from the age of about 3, I always used to tell him when he walked away from his little table and chair at the time, I'd say, you know, I know you can't put everything away, but just bring your little sippy cup or your little cup and your plate and just leave it on the bench and I'll put everything else away. Just if you do that, it became a habit. So now that he's 7.5, they always move everything, put everything and then just place it in the sink, which I'm like, it comes down to, again, I think, what are you showing people is an acceptable way to do things and then giving them the opportunity to do that. I think that's where that
so good. So good. Yep. Terrific. And then I often think with the older, like the kids are staying at home longer now, so it's sort of like, would a flatmate accept that behaviour in their house?
Yeah.
No, you'd get kicked out. There'd be a meeting and you'd get kicked out. Yeah. So if you're not good enough, so it's sort of like that standard as well. And this is what we want when we lead people. It's like, you just raise your standards on yesterday. That's it. That's what we do for everybody. We raise your standards on yesterday. So if yesterday you ate a bunch of donuts, didn't have dinner and went to bed with, you know, whatever, you know, way too late, Netflix in ya, and no, way too late, then maybe tomorrow we do a bit better. We drink water, we have 3 decent meals and we go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, we do this sort of thing. And people go, oh, that feels better. That's telling you something, love. That's telling you something. So it's not difficult. It's just about encouraging every single day to move towards what you want to, whether it's business, life, leadership, you know, body, whatever it is. Whatever it is, you absolutely deserve that and 10 times more if you want that.
Yeah.
If you want that. Yeah.
Absolutely. As you said, you know, it comes down to if you want that, and are you willing to commit, isn't it? Because with especially with all the work that you do around coaching and the transformational work, Linda, you know, I've heard this saying over and over again, and over the years of me having, you know, whether I work with a life coach or a business coach, you know, all of that, they always say the teacher appears when the student is ready. And as much as I go, absolutely, the student also, when you're ready, you need to be ready to commit, to take that one step further and go, not only am I looking for help, but I'm willing to commit and do the work that needs to be done in order to achieve the result. That's a big one. And I think with all the coaching work you've done and had conversations with these thousands and thousands of women, with, you know, on different levels, no matter where they're in, I suppose, with mindset and what they're trying to achieve, you probably kind of, have you seen this where they're kind of going, yeah, I'm ready to commit. I want to do this. I want the transformation. Commitment
comes with investment. That's it. I've given away so much time, energy, effort, love, training, all the rest of it. But actually, commitment comes when they invest in programs with money. That's it.
Yeah.
Because then you get the attention.
Yeah.
When the attention comes, it all comes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So, you know, I appreciate all people on all levels, whether they want to share my stuff, whether they've got free stuff, whether they've got paid stuff, whether they're at this level, that level. But the fact of the matter is that commitment comes when you invest.
Yeah, no, amazing. I love that.
On anything, anything. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Linda, look, thank you so much for your time today. I am very, very grateful that you know, you've shared this valuable information with my community, but also with the wider community to really, I suppose, take the time to reflect. I think it is, I would say, and I've been saying this to my community for the past few days, as it was probably from about middle of last week, where I said this is an opportunity for individuals, women and men, to really take one step back to reflect. Where is your life going? What changes can you make that will be a positive outcome that 6 months, 12 months from now, you're going to look back and go, yeah, there was so much going on in the world and in my local community, in my country. But as a result, I took one step back. I changed the coast just a little bit. And here I am today, 12 months on, with so much transformational work that has been done as a result of me taking the time to reflect and shift a little bit, which changes the complete outcome in life, isn't it?
100%. Beautiful. Thank you, Samantha.
No, thank you so much, Linda. I really, really appreciate it. Once again, thank you. And I look forward to another conversation with you very soon.
Easy. Thank you, Samantha. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.